we're putting those numbers together. It might be a small percentage more, but not that much.
The south side of my property is probably going to be where the pipe will be run, going to the, because that's where I have all the property, that's where my cesspools are. But I was planning future expansion there of the house on the south side of the property. Is that something I talk with the people who come to the house, and maybe they can run the line away from where I'm going to be expanding?
Yeah, when we come out to your property, and if you email the sewers@patchogue.org that question and let us know, we'll make sure that we route, and we'll come show you where we plan on putting it. Typically, we meet with the homeowner before doing the installation on the property. Just there's always chances to reroute in the field. There's specific pitches and setbacks off of property lines and water lines that we have to meet. But we'll work with you to put the sewer line where it needs to be.
Thank you.
How do we know when to expect someone to come to our house, and how do we arrange people at that time? Just missing knocking on doors?
Starting Monday, we're gonna start knocking on doors probably 8:30 in the morning to 4:30, 5 o'clock during the day. If you're not home, we'll leave a door hanger on your door. We'll ask you to contact us via email or phone, and then if we can schedule an appointment.
Thank you.
Yes, sir? Yeah. He lives on a narrow street, and given how narrow it is, and you have both traffic and you have, garbage or
That's going to get into the means and methods of the contractor. On River Avenue, where we ran into experiences where we had to close down the road, you guys put your trash out like normal, and the contractors worked with us to move it to a location where the village was able to pick up. We'll look to try to direction drill in areas to mitigate the impacts of the roads as necessary in those single lane roads.
Yes, sir.
Again, the single lane road like that, are they going to be, do I understand correctly, that they're going to be passed at the end of the day, after you just do your daily work, to be covering up the holes, so that they can be driven on?
Yeah, you can drive on the end of, at the end of the day, the roads will be closed up to be drivable. Typically, the road is, we'll work with you. If it's a dead-end road, we're going to have to work with you guys and communicate. We typically send out door hangers and notify the residents that we're going to be impacting the week of, and then give them 48-hour notice. We're working in front of your house. You may be impacted. Minor disturbances, please let us know.
Is this road Furman Lane right here?
Yes.
Is this Furman Lane right here? Yeah. Furman Lane is about as wide as this aisle here. And I guess the concern is,
We'll be able to work around as long as we know.
yeah.
We got questions in the back, Paul.
Yeah.
He's going to fall over. I have a comment and a question for you. I'm trustee for, so I sit on the board with Paul and a few other folks here. And every year, I think it's the DEC, does a water quality study of our bay. And every year, where we get good marks, we're better than anybody on either side of us in both directions. And you know the DEC, those nasty people. They're really tough to deal with. Anyway, thought I should add that. My question: a lot of the older houses, like 1920, have very narrow side yards, and their sewer pitch goes to the backyard. So, like my house, everything goes out to the backyard, and I have, I think, 5-foot side yard setback.
There's cases where we may have to locate the pump stations in the backyard on a case-by-case basis, because we'll be able to directionally drill the 1.25-inch line from the roadway directly into your backyard.
Great, thank
to
you.
mitigate that. We got a question in the back, Paul.
What's in the back?
I just got approved to have my house knocked down and rebuilt. I live down on the Great South Bay. How fast can this project get into effect? Because I have a line across the street from me, but I'm 30 foot out of district.
You're 30 foot out of district.
Yeah.
Well, that's a discussion we'll have offline with Village Attorney Egan, and we'll work it from there. Yes, Joan.
Every home, whether it's a 1,000 square foot home, with just one or two people, pays the same as.
It could be a flat rate. You know, we could have done it based upon water, based upon, you know, appraised value. It becomes a very complicated process. So what we did is we said, you pump, the average in the low water, we're pumping twice a year. We took some numbers and we backed those numbers in and said, okay, by backing those numbers into that 150,000 gallons, it works. You know, I don't like to complicate things. Because I'm a pretty simple guy. Yes, young lady.
So I just want to say it's basically on the cost of cost. So we're looking at $650.
Yes.
So we won't have incidental cost of like a monthly fee.
No.
Like that cost. And so we would have, I guess, like an incidental fee that might be a little bit of price now, electrical plus the pump.
Right.
The electrical is approximately $20 to $30 a year.
I'm sorry?
Approximately $20 to $30 a year for a single-family residence.
And now how does that impact also like our property taxes?
It doesn't change anything else. No.
We won't have like a suit, because I
No.
know like folks that I know have suits. They pay a suit tax, they pay this, they pay
No.
that.
It's just, we wanted to set this up very similar to what we do with a refuse. You know, it's based upon numbers of units. You know, if you have a three-family or a four-family home, then the numbers change, obviously, because it's, but for a single-family home, that's the 650 is the number, and that's forever. Yes?
Do you have a number on how much it increases the value of your home, or is it just a matter of it's more desirable?
I think you would have to look down at River Avenue and see if you can see what the previous assessed values were on Zillow or something like that to where they are now and what they're selling for. I don't have a specific number. We got a question in the front.
No question that it's more desirable.
Correct,
Oh, yeah.
because now you can use your facilities as desired. Yes. The question is there potential in the future for additional people to be hooked up? Right now, this is what was allocated with the grant money. If grant money comes available in the future, there's always the potential of hooking up more people.
No, but we didn't make up the map. And is it the county that did the study?
The county did the groundwater management study.
They did the groundwater management study. The state determined the amount of money that we would get, and then we fit that amount of money into the groundwater study, and we end up with what we have.
Well, I'm paying higher cost insurance because they're talking my house. My property is on the line of my waterways.
Okay, we'll talk some more about
You know,
it.
it's not extra a year. People know that.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I own two houses, one is a rental.
Yes.
Rental, other one is?
Yes. Jim?
The question was if you own he owned two houses, and he asked if the rental was covered. All single-family homes are covered, and all two-family owner-occupied homes will be covered by this.
What about a four-family owner-occupied?
I don't know what the village determination is on that.
We're going to be setting up a fee schedule, pretty much like we do with our garbage. You know, a certain amount as it goes up. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's put it this way, the pump itself, if it's a four-family house, or a single family, that pump can handle that amount of volume. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am? What's that? Yep.
No, some pumps
Some
cannot
pumps.
be connected to the sewer system. It'll inundate the treatment plant and reduce the capacity of the treatment plant. We can look into ways of maybe repurposing your existing sanitary systems for you to pump your existing sump pumps into to store on your property. Another question in the back?
Yeah, just to clarify, earlier you mentioned about maintenance. We're responsible, you said, inside of the house.
You're responsible from the house to the pump station on your property, just like you would be responsible from your house going to your cesspool. So if you start flushing wipes or matchbox cars or whatever you want to flush down the pipe and it gets clogged, that's your responsibility. The village will maintain the pump out to the road and your sewage all the way to the treatment plant.
All right, so basically we're talking then about if things went down, a tree would go down, cleaning them out is our responsibility. But out to the pump water.
Once your sewage reaches the pump station, it's the village's responsibility. It's your responsibility to maintain how it gets there.
Basically, if your pump goes down and needs a repair, it's our responsibility to repair the pump. If you happen to put something into the system that clogs the pipe so nothing gets to the pump, that becomes your responsibility. Now, if that problem happens, you call us, we'll help determine what the issue is and give you some ways to repair it.
How large is the pipe to be?
What's that?
How large is the pipe to be from the house?
The typical size of the size of the pipe coming from the house is typically 4 to 6 inches. So we'll be running either a 4 or 6 inch SDR PVC pipe with cleanouts in every 45 bend as per health department standards.
Is there a limit to the amount of existing cesspools that you'll take care of? I believe I have 4 on the property.
No, but we need those prior to bid so that we can properly budget for the project.
This inspection that they do when they visit your home is extremely important because it becomes the allocation of funds and how this whole thing will be set up and work out. Yes, young lady. Can you speak loudly because this is a demo.
Nothing.
The additional expense of sump pumps and repurchasing, is that on the homeowner?
So the additional expense for repurposing from sump pumps, that's going to be included in the contract?
No, if you want to connect your sump pumps to your cesspools, that'll be a cost for you guys. But we can work with the health department to see if we can repurpose your cesspools. Any cesspools that are block cesspools will not be allowed. They have to be abandoned for safety issues. But the village with the River Avenue project was able to repurpose the cesspools on those properties to collect those rainwater off the roof gutter systems. So we're working with the county on that currently. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Hi, yeah. I recently bought my house 5 years ago. When the home inspection was done in snowy weather. So I have no idea where my cesspool is. And I don't know, my house was built in the 20s, I don't know how many there actually would be in my backyard. Is somebody going to be able to find them?
We're going to do our best to find them.
I think I know where one is. And I don't know, I haven't been there long enough.
That's why we're going to try to get out there starting next Monday, and we're going to try to get out before it snows. So you're going to see multiple crews roaming around the neighborhoods. We'll all have green vests on, everything will say H2M, we'll have name tags on, so we'll be easily identifiable. Most of the people are out in the lobby that you'll be seeing knocking on your doors.
Young lady? What was that question?
What if their cesspools were just installed on their property?
Well, they're probably rings, so, that's a decision. Yeah, it's a decision to be made. Yeah.
We'll talk offline about that.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to take an appointment rather than just knocking on doors?
Yes, if you would like to email an appointment, that would be great.
In fact, probably in a lot of cases, if you're working, using that email address and giving them times.
If you guys need appointments outside the hours of 8:30 and 4:30, please email us and we'll work to maybe set up a day that we can come on a Saturday or a Sunday to make it easier for you guys if you're not home.
Can you give us an email address or?
On the key fact sheet on the bottom, it's sewers@patchogue.org. Yeah.
PatchogueVillage.org, exactly. Any other questions?
Do you know if it's true that in June of 2019, the health department will force you to upgrade your system if you need to add another cesspool?
I don't know if that's been officially passed yet, but that's a separate program.
The county will require anybody who's doing upgrades or improvements to their systems to upgrade to at least a septic tank. So it's not to upgrade to the alternative wastewater systems, the new systems that are out there that cost about $20,000. We're just requiring people to make to the 1970s technology of septic tanks. So that's the only requirement right now. We have not passed any ordinances that are mandatory for upgrading to the alternative systems that are much more expensive. So that's kind of the rundown on that. So if you have to, as of a certain date, if you have to do an upgrade to your system, not if you're just necessarily doing maintenance work, but if you have to do an upgrade or you have to do some sort of, or you're building something bigger on your house and you need to add pools because you don't have enough capacity, at that stage you will be required to at least install a septic tank. And that'll be, I think your date was right, June of 2019. No. There was a proposal to do that, but we did not pass that. His question was, and obviously this is a little bit different because it's talking about cesspools and septic systems, but if you had to pump your system more than 3 times a year or had to have treatment into your system more than 3 times a year, because the companies that do that work are now supposed to keep track of that and report it to the health department, that you would be required to upgrade if that happened. And that is not the case. There was a proposal for that, and we did not do that because we were concerned that it would have potential cost impacts to folks who are just trying to, who are like a lot of us who have to pump your system once or twice because you're in high groundwater. And not having like a failure of your system, it's just you're on high groundwater. The county law, and again, because everybody here is going to be able to connect to the sewers at no cost, is not going to really be relevant, but the county law is strictly, if you are updating your system, it's not going to require you to update your system, but if you are doing work to your system, adding a pool, expanding your home, which means you need to add a pool, then you will be required to install at least a septic tank, not the alternative systems that cost much more, just the septic tank, which is 1970s wastewater treatment emergency. That'll be everybody.
The question was probably asked before, but I only heard a partial answer sitting in the back. If there's a need to upgrade the electrical panel in the house, who's going to bear that cost?
The grants in this project will bear that cost.
The power panel itself?
What was that?
To enlarge the power panel if necessary?
Yeah, if we have to upgrade the service, if you have a 60 amp service coming to your home and we have to get it to 100 based on the current loads in the house, there'll be a new electric service provided to the house.
Okay, thank you.
My other question, I apologize. You say we don't have access to our road from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., correct?
No, I said there may be disturbed access.
Okay, but we'll be able to go in and out of our property during the day if need to be. Like I said, a few people come home different hours, go
There
different
might
hours.
be 1 or 2 days when we're doing work directly in front of your house that we'll ask you to park down this block on the side of the road, if need be. They're gonna work with you, but if we have a 50-foot trench open and it's in front of your driveway for that one day, the pipe's gotta come across.
No, I understand.
I don't know if your house is a house that already has the pipe installed in front of it. I mean, we may not be even ripping up the road in front of your house, so
There's
let's
no pipe.
talk offline.
Okay, great,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes? That will be abandoned.
Yeah, so she's asking, you live on West, so she's asking about the line in the street. So some of us, if you're on West and parts of Cedar, if you may already have a line in the street. So there's parallel projects that are gonna go on, right? There's a construction project that's a contract that's gonna go out for connecting homes and another one for the infrastructure. So if the line's in your street already, we just gotta get you connected. If there isn't a line in your street yet, then there'll be the need to install that infrastructure before we can connect your homeowners. Yeah, if you're about, like, I know the Orr is connected, the restaurant there, he ran a line and got himself connected many years ago. But that line actually extends all the way, it zigzags through the neighborhood to get the South Ocean to the condos. And so if you're along that route, you're gonna get just connected. That's the only work that needs to be done. That's part of why this project is so cost effective in terms of pitching it to the federal government and state government. He's asking who's responsible for filling in the pool and when the systems are abandoned.
The contractor that's retained for this project prior to filling the pools with sand will be pumping them out.
They're gonna pump them, fill it, and restore them.
Well, what we're gonna do is we'll connect you, and then what we did on River Avenue is let them sit for a week or so, and then went out to pump out the solids, and then backfill. Listen, we're gonna try to get the solids out the best we can. If you're in groundwater, that's part of the issue, is that we have no attenuation from the soil protecting the groundwater.
It'll be the county's and the contractor's problem. It will not be the homeowner's problem.
Thank you all very much. Like,
We got one more question.
one more
Paul.
question? Last question. Don't make it one of your, it's gonna be a short question. No. From you, I will only take a short question.
I have to get real answers somewhere, right? So just a couple of quick questions about Would you let me stay incognito? I can't get real answers from him. I gotta get them from the engineer. I hope everyone understands. So, and I think they're questions everyone's gonna wanna know. I waited for everybody to ask. I was hoping everybody else would ask the question so I wouldn't have to, right? In any event, these are mostly for the engineer, and they're all sort of, it's more just about the process, the design review process. So after you guys, well, first off, I just have one quick suggestion. You've collected emails and phone numbers from every single person in this meeting. So is there some reason you can't just email us all and say, your appointment time is assigned to be such and such a time? And then just knock on everybody else's doors? Because everybody here, I'm sure, works and is not home all day between 8:30 and 4:30. So in any event, but I'll let you guys figure that one out.
We can send out an email.
I mean, everybody just gave us, everybody just gave you guys our
If we start
contact
scheduling
information.
during a work day, then people start complaining that they have to take a day off of work, and then it turns
No,
into-
but at least if you know when it is, it's
Okay.
easier to plan, right? And in any event.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I understand there's gonna be like a website of some sort, and I don't think that was mentioned, but so is all the frequently asked questions, like all the questions that everybody asked that a lot of us couldn't hear, did somebody write down all these questions and can they post them up on the website for everybody?
We'll work on that.
Okay, and then, so after the engineer visits our home and comes up with the plan, are we gonna get the plan? Is the homeowner gonna be able to like review the plan and have like some sort of design review process? Like what's the plan for that?
That wasn't anticipated. Typically, what we'll do is we'll lay out with the homeowner prior to doing any excavation on their property.
But you're gonna go out to bid with the plan, so like somebody's just gonna visit you once and then a contractor's gonna show up to build and there's not gonna be anything in between that? Like what's the, I know there's access to groups, like what's the whole process with the homeowners in terms of the paperwork and what we're gonna have to review and what we're gonna have to approve and how that works?
Prior to the contractor coming on the property, you'll have to enter into an access agreement with the village. It's more like a maintenance access agreement, like Suffolk County Water, to run their meter and maintain the equipment and allow for the construction on your property.
Okay, so, but when you sign that, will you get a copy of what's gonna be done to your house?
We can discuss that with the village. We haven't gone that route.
Okay, so it wasn't down the river and it was okay? Okay, so that's a good answer. Oh, thank you. All right, what about with the contractors? Because in this case, and I don't know, was it the case in River that contractors went inside people's homes?
Correct.
Right, okay, so, and are those contractors or something? Because I don't know who sends this out to bid, but will all those people that are coming to people's homes be background checked? They're bonded and insured, but will they be background checked? Because I don't think that's a typical construction specification thing. Okay.
We'll look into that.
We'll look into that. Thank you, Laura.
Ms. Feitner, thank you. Notice I used the last name. But thank you very much. Your staff will be outside in the lobby at this point?
Yeah, if you didn't sign in on the way out, you can sign in, put your email address, and we're going to start collecting the database and we'll reach out to you.
But thank you all very much for coming this evening. Much appreciated.